July 22nd, 2020. Longtime Indies veteran Eddie Kingston bursts into frame, answering the open challenge of Cody Rhodes on AEW Dynamite. There's something about him, an odd charisma, an intensity that can't be manufactured. In a world of cartoon characters, overacting, and tough guys, Eddie Kingston is something else. Eddie Kingston is a real person. He doesn't cut a promo so much as speak to you, a troubled, battle-hardened brawler, out to finally crack the big leagues after years of obscurity. You want to see him succeed, and it's no surprise AEW eventually moved him into a full-on babyface role. When you've got Roman Reigns demanding acknowledgement, and Cody Rhodes seemingly thinking he ended racism, seriously, what the hell was that about? I can't believe we all cheer for Rhodes these days. Anyways, while all those over-the-top guys were doing their thing, Eddie Kingston was speaking openly about his depression, about his setbacks, his friendships, his family. He was an everyman in the land of outlandish men, and for many of us, having a normal, dare I say, rather out-of-shape-looking chap speak so passionately about his struggles, all while brawling with an awkwardly reckless intensity in the ring, was great. It was an underdog to root for every week. Even when he got trapped in the heat-sapping vortex of doom that is a long feud with that guy who does the vocals for Fuzzy, the clout vampire, the worst choice of an inaugural AEW World Champion Tony Khan and the boys could have gone with. Good old, heavy emphasis on old, Chris Jericho. So that's enough scene setting right there. Let's get to the nitty-gritty and fast forward to 2023. Eddie Kingston's fondness for the glory days of All Japan's King's Road style has become much more than just fondness. It seems Kingston's watched so much of Toshiaki Kawada and Kento Kobashi that he's trying to become them. The chops of Kobashi, the selling of Kawada, and you know what? It's not very good. As is nearly always the case with tribute acts, it just doesn't work. Eddie Kingston trying to make this King's Road homage a thing, it's silly. It'd be like a pro wrestler putting together an Ozzy Osbourne tribute band in his spare time, and then trying to convince us all it's a legitimate rock group or something. The G1 climax blows in, and there he is, trying to work like a dojo graduate, and frankly, it doesn't fit his look. He's in the wrong Japanese promotion, his athleticism, or lack thereof, and it doesn't suit his no-nonsense, hard-grafting persona. It's not completely terrible, he is a good wrestler, but it's just not very good either. He returns to the US, and Tony Khan does him a big solid. He lets him live out his daydream with the Continental Classic, a tournament that leads to AEW's very own crack at a Triple Crown. You know, like the Triple Crown the legends of All Japan fought and bled for. Only it's not really, because the All Japan Triple Crown was composed of 3 world title belts, whereas AEW's is all secondary, including one of New Japan's 0 prestige strong titles. At this point, he's got the booking of a young Mitsuharu Misawa trying to crack the main event. He's got the body of an impractical Joker and the promo chops of a Dusty Rhodes. Which of those do you think people appreciate the most? The fact is, Eddie Kingston should be AEW's Dusty Rhodes, not a rip-off, his own man, but that type of babyface character. A gutsy underdog who talks to the fans as more than just a performer, who connects and overcomes bigger and better talents through sheer force of will and tenacity. He will never be Kenta Kobashi. No one will. That guy was an all-time great. But also, look at the state of his health in the years since he retired and during his run in Pro Wrestling Noah. Is it worth it? Eddie Kingston is charismatic enough that he doesn't need to find out. Now, it's all but guaranteed he will be losing his belts to Kazuchika Okada. Once that's over with, Kingston has the perfect rivals to re-establish himself as the working man's babyface he's meant to be. And those rivals are the Young Bucks. Say what you will about the Bucks, one thing they're great at is taking big bumps to make their opponents look strong. On top of that, the super douchebag personas they've got now are working and making their faces more punchable by the day. For Eddie Kingston, having two managerial jerks to take on who will make his old brawling style look brutal is the perfect time to return to what made him so popular in AEW to begin with. Stop trying to be the next Kawada or whatever, and go back to being simply Eddie Kingston before it's too late.